Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here with the R Holistic Healer, aka Sonia B. I am back with another prophetic message. I just want to say, if you're new to my channel, oh my God, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank this morning. If you're new to my channel, I just want to say welcome. And if you're returning back, I just want to say welcome back. So with all that being said, let me just get right into it and give you guys the message that came in this morning for you guys. So keep in mind, these energies could be happening right now. They could be happening now, they could be happening next week, or they could be happening within these next 2 to 3 weeks for some of you guys. So keep in mind, because I've noticed that a lot of relationship situations are coming up, and this is pertaining to friends. It's having a lot to do with friends, is what I'm saying, because some of you guys have been asked to let go of people who no longer serve you, and some of you may not even realize that these people do not serve your higher soul purpose. But Divine Spirit of Light is trying to get your attention, and excuse me, Divine Spirit of Light is trying to get your attention to get you to listen to your intuition a little bit more, because it's like little subtle signs are there, but you're kind of second guessing yourself in regards to the information that you're receiving, of thinking like, oh no, that's not right to think, or oh no, that's not right to do, or whatever the case may be. Some things you may think is the way that you guys are handling some of your situations. You're coming from a perspective of thinking too logical about the situation. The truth of the matter is, Divine Spirit of Light has your highest and your greatest interest at heart. And with all that being said, let me just kind of get into the message. And I have been divinely guided to pull. I don't normally work with this deck too much. I actually bought this deck some time ago, but I don't really work with it too much. But I've been, excuse me, divinely guided to use this deck anyway. And I'm also going to use my my spirit animal cards too. So guys, just keep in mind that when I do use these messages, I'm also going to use my crystal healing cards. They deal with a lot of just kind of letting you know sometimes what energy you're trying to dissolve, what karma you're trying to work through, or from, whether it be from past life, into this life, just things that, that you're trying to, I hope this music isn't too loud, guys. That your higher self and your spirit guides and your angels and Divine Spirit of Light and all of your spiritual team is trying to get you to clear out some of this karma, should I say. Because believe it or not, some of these people that are in your life, they are, how can I say it? They're karmic situations. They're situations of karmic. You're trying to clear out the karma. And I say all that to say that, yeah. So, I mean, if that makes sense to you. And remember, karma can either be good. Karma is not necessarily good or bad, but it's just more so about the lesson. But sometimes we tend to think, in some situations, there is a karma that comes in a sense of it seemed like it's hardship, and then there's a karma that comes in that seemed like it's, oh my God, everything is blissful for me. So yeah, I can see how some people can chalk it up to being as good or bad, just depending on what type of energy you have putting out. Well, just keep in mind too, as a Divine Spirit of Light is trying to get you to see and listen to your inner self more rather than listening to external people, you're going to find yourself allowing your intuition to be heightened a little bit more. So once you start to see that you're trusting yourself and trusting what comes up for you, I had to tell my mom the other day, I had to tell her the other day that keep in mind, everybody's learning soul lessons. I had to learn this lesson too, because at some point, I would always second guess myself and information that would come through, because I had people in my ear, and it was more so family, and a spouse in my ear at the time, was telling me, oh, the information I was receiving, oh, that's nonsense, and so on and so on. But I say all that to say, I was second guessing myself in the process. But it got to the point that Divine Spirit of Light was like, no, I need to push everything away from you. And that's exactly what he's trying to do to you right now. He's trying to get you to push away those things that are no longer serving your purpose as I explained before, it's almost like the hidden enemies that you can't even see, that are close by you, that's close within you, that's within your own circle. Yeah, that's within your own circle. And I say all that to say that divine spirit light can see things that you don't see. And sometimes when your intuition, or you're not listening to your intuition or your gut feeling, sometimes you can end up, how can I say it? Sometimes you can end up hurting, harming, or injuring your own self in some type of way or form. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean a physical, or hurt or harm, but just, mentally, emotionally, somebody could be playing with you and pulling your strings, and you just like, oh my God, like, why am I keep going through this with this person? So it's just things like God sees that you don't see. And there are people like, myself, and I say this in the humblest way as possible, that divine spirit of light shows me things that I'm able to see, and that's that I'm able to see. So because I had to get rid of things around me, who kept being in my ear trying to tell me things to do, and I was like, no, I had to get to the point. It's okay for you to say no. Don't think that by you saying no that you are being mean to somebody, because some people like to cross boundaries, is what I found out. They like to cross boundaries. They don't respect other people's opinion. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. And if you tell someone to stop, stop means stop. So I say all that to say, I know, well, because I'm being led to say this, because I know there's been situations too where I've tried to help family and I've tried to guide them, spiritually, because I see and I knew what was going on and what was taking place. So I was just trying to get them to evolve and trying to help them in a way that I saw was for their better and the highest good. And I say all that to say, because I'm only saying that because I myself have had the experience of going through that, and I knew what was coming because it was shown to me what was coming. So it was a matter of me trying to help them to prepare themselves. Well, in some situations, some certain family members got to a point that, they didn't want to hear the information that I was giving. And so I had to basically start pulling back my energy and keeping it, because I'm like, why am I going to keep wasting my energy on somebody I'm trying to help? And it's from a matter of true unconditional love, in the sense of, I do have your highest and greatest good at heart, and I've always had your highest and greatest good at heart. But I don't think they understood that at the time. So it got to the point that I started pulling back my information and keeping it to myself. And God said, okay, well, if those people around you don't want to listen to you, that's fine. Well, here's what you're going to do. And here's what he had led me to do. It was a matter of me going to YouTube. Well, let me say this real quick. I struggled with that even a little bit myself too, because I remember I'm a very private person, because I don't like people all up in my business or whatever, but I will share my story and my experiences with people because I know that it can help them. But in a sense, I feel like, I knew that I was always basically a truthful person, and God has always been my every conversation, to the point that I know it got on some people's nerves, and that's okay. Do we hear the notification bell? So, and even though that kind of got on people's nerves and kind of put a little itch within him, like, oh my God, like that's all she ever talks about. So to the point, I'm sure it probably pushed some people away, and that's fine too, because the truth of the matter is, those same people that may have decided that, oh my God, like that's her only conversation, is that all she thinks about? I'm pretty sure those same old people are the same ones who are looking during these times for answers to the same information I was giving them back then, and the same information that I'm kind of giving now, in a sense. So I'm sure it's going to be a matter of time. Those same people that, felt like the information was not valid, excuse me. Sorry, y'all, I had breakfast already. So I feel like they think that that information didn't serve them at the time, and which is fine, because it probably didn't. It's just that, because I'm an Aquarius, it's ahead of its time, in a sense. So the information that I'm giving is like way over people's heads, in a sense of like, what is she talking about? So I say all that to say that some people are going to find themselves being divinely guided back in my direction, in the sense of listening to that same information I was trying to give them back then, that is going to serve the purpose for now. It just, unfortunately, at the time I was giving it, it was just ahead of its time, and they weren't ready to hear that. So with all that being said, I just want to let you guys know, as I said before, that a lot of people are dealing with situations pertaining to their friends. And again, just know that it is okay for you to set boundaries for yourself. I did another video on this too, because I saw someone having a conversation in a previous video that I did, and they was sitting there talking to excuse me, they were sitting there talking to their, I feel like somebody's throat chakra is trying to get cleared out of the way. Anyway, so yes, because believe it or not, some of you guys' throat chakra has been blocked, because I know yesterday I was feeling it all up in here. And for those of you who don't know, you know, I do pick up on other people's energy or whatever, as an empath. So yes, I receive messages from the collective sometimes, and I feel the different energies that's taking place. You know, sometimes I can feel like just different things that's going on that, you know, I can kind of feel that other people are experiencing in the process. That's the whole part of, you know, of being in other people's shoes and experiencing what they're experiencing, if that makes sense to you. So, what I was going to say, oh yes, some of y'all getting y'all throats cleared out, but anyway, so yeah, but I know I did a previous video. I saw somebody having a conversation with a friend, or somebody who was quote unquote a friend, but you know, they wasn't taking the news too lightly, because I saw that somebody was actually standing up for themselves in the process, and the information that they were receiving, they was feeling a certain type of way. They didn't get nasty about it, but that previous video, it was just more so of a person learning how to stand up for their boundaries. And even though the person was hearing what they were saying, I don't know if they was really receiving the messages from what I saw, but the other person who gave the message, they basically felt good about the situation, but they were also being divinely guided, because I saw two spirits that was there with them as they were having a conversation with somebody. And these were like their spirit guides or the angels or whoever these spirits were, but they were your higher guides, or that was watching down over you when you was having a conversation with certain people. And some of you in the process had actually just was told to just stop the conversation there in the process, because you kind of felt like this person was kind of zoning out and they wasn't really listening to you. So it was almost like, stop wasting your energy and just end the conversation there. And then I saw, you know, somebody walking off. And I know that was the last message, and I wanted to add that part because I don't think I said that before in the other video. But yeah, some of you was just being divinely guided to just end the conversation there, because it was like almost talking to yourself in the process. But anyway, let me get into the prophetic message that I received this morning. It is also about friends again. So this message came in a form, and I know it's not, message isn't for me, because I don't have any friends that are around me, to be honest with you. I removed everything that was unhealthy from my life so that I could receive what it was I am worth. In other words, things that I want in my life that are quality, that are of high value, how can I say it? That are for my highest and greatest good. So I had to release those things out of my life so that I can make room for those things that were meant for me going forward. And yes, if I release something that's unhealthy, you best to believe that something that's coming in is going to be very helpful. That means helpful friendships, helpful people I surround myself around, or people surrounded around me, in order to help me to get wherever it is that I want to go. Because yes, I have big visions for myself, and I have things that I want to accomplish. And yeah, and I just need people. I know I already have, because Divine Spirit Light has already shown me spiritually who these individuals are. And they're going to just help me get to where it is that I need to go. So just remember, you can't get where you need to go, or thinking that you're going to get where you need to go and wanting to move to a certain direction, if you're still hanging on to the old in the process. But anyway, so the prophetic message I received this morning, it came in a form as if it was happening to me, as I said before. So it just so happened, I feel like this friend is someone, because this individual showed up in my dream before too, but I'm not even around this individual, someone I went to school with. So I know that was just Divine Spirit of Light trying to show me how long you've kind of known this person. So some of you are dealing with the situation that you've known this person from middle school and high school, or you've just known this person from high school. So keep that in mind too. So some of you are going to find yourself dealing with the situation where it's almost like this individual is going to kind of like try to bamboozle you in a sense. And I saw that because it came in a form as if I was just kind of minding my business, as if I was kind of walking down the street. But this individual was kind of almost like as if they was like standing on not a corner, but on the corner of the building or one of the buildings that was just standing out there. And it was almost like they was just looking to see who they can try to get over on. Because the way it happened was I was walking and all of a sudden it was like, hey, they was like such and such. I was meant to, we meant to work together. We were supposed to work together is that what they was trying to convince me. And I knew to myself and I was just like, kind of questioning it a little bit like, where are you coming from? But in a sense, it was like I was questioning where they was coming from, but at the same time, but I allowed myself to remain open, in a sense. So what I saw was, it was as if I went home and I thought about it. And then I decided to go meet up with this individual. So in the process of me going to meet up with this individual, the funny thing about it was I didn't go by myself. I felt like I took 2 cars. There were 2 cars of groups of people who I felt like with me. And I really believe that those cars of people because some of the people I don't even know who was in the car, but I just know I was like to explain to you, I feel like when you guys find yourself encountering this situation, just know that you're not going to be alone because you're going to have it's like your whole spiritual team is going to be there with you because that's kind of how I perceive that. So the people we piled up in 2 cars deep. But again, it's like these were energies. So I didn't really see these individual faces. The only faces that I saw was the one individual and the person who was with her when she said, hey, we were meant to work together. And she was very convinced about it. So anyway, I decided to go visit to see what she was talking about. So in the process, again, we was in 2 cars that was 2 deep that rolled over to her place. And as we rode over to her place, she had there was a male's present there as well too. So as I went into her apartment, I sat down and I was on one side of the room sitting on the couch, and her and the male was sitting on the other side of the room. And they were sitting on the other side of the room. And it's like I had to get up and leave and go out the door for a second. So I didn't see myself leaving, but I didn't see myself literally leaving, but I felt like I left outside the door for a second to go get something. But for some particular reason, when I came back in, I sat down and I left my phone when I did. So when I came back in and I sat down and I looked at my phone and I was like, I knew something wasn't right. I knew something was off because let me just show you real quick. Hold on one second. Because on my phone right here, I just put like a piece of, it's like a little piece of putty stuff. And then I have it back here too where the camera goes. And I just keep my phone covered up on both ends. And I'm just saying this like in the physical. I do this literally in the physical. So in my dreams, I saw that my phone was missing the piece that I put over top of the cameras. When I came back in, I noticed that my phone looked like it had been moved, and the strips that I had over top of the cameras, they were all gone off, like they were removed. And then I started, kind of like I'm raising my eyebrows now. I'm like, well, wait a minute. And then at that moment, I knew that there's something was going on. So I looked through my wallet and I didn't really find anything missing, but I got a feeling like somebody had been rumbling through my wallet and through my phone because the covers were gone off of the phone. All 3 of them were gone, because there's 2 cameras on the front side of the phone. And it was the one, it's not a camera the camera on the back side. I covered those up. But anyway, in a dream, they were all removed as well too. So it got to the point that I was just like, oh no, So, and then I told her basically, and I said, I basically told to her in so many words. Hold on, y'all. Okay, and then I told her at that moment, my intuition really just did kick in that dream at that moment, because it was like I knew something was wrong. My gut feeling was telling me something was wrong. My intuition was telling me something was wrong. So I was like, oh no. And then I told her, I said, I said, you know what? I said, you telling me that we supposed to work together, but you telling me, because I felt like she was using God as an excuse, like saying God was saying we were supposed to work together. And that's what I felt like she was doing, because the first thing I told her was, I said, first of all, why would God sit up there and tell you that we need to work together? Because if God told me that we need to work together, God would have told me that myself, because I was like, I have a personal relationship with God and God shows me everything, is what I told her. So at that moment, that dream pretty much ended. It pretty much ended right there. But I say all that to say that some of you guys are going to realize you're going to start excuse me. Oh my God. Mercury retrograde. Excuse me, y'all. Some of y'all are going to start trusting your own intuition. You're going to start trusting your own gut feeling. Just know that you are not alone. You have a spiritual team that is with you and backing you. And if you trust that and believe that, well, whether you trust that, believe that or not, they are there. They're there helping you. They're there helping you, trying to strengthen your intuition, strengthen your gut feelings, and allowing you to feel what's right. And I say feel, I mean feeling within here, feeling what's right, what's wrong. But in order to do that, sometimes you got to sit still. Sometimes you got to get quiet. Sometimes you got to block out all the noise. Sometimes you got to block out all the chitter chatter. Sometimes you got to block out all the birds singing, not literally the birds outside singing, because that's actually a very peaceful sound, to be honest with you. But I mean, like, as in people, you got to sit still and get quiet in order to really feel. And then the next time you find yourself around somebody, just trust what it is that you're coming up. I didn't finish my story earlier, but I said I told my mom that she has to learn to trust what she's feeling, because I too had to go through that at one point too, some years ago. And I had to trust what was coming up, because every time something would come up, I would find myself second guessing certain things. And usually if you find yourself second guessing it, it's almost like that's you making that second guess choice. But if you going with what comes up for you the first time around, that's usually your intuition. So it's usually always your first gut feeling of what you're feeling. So pay attention to that next time, because the more you do that when you're around other people, just get a feel. If you feel like something tells you to move to the side when you're walking around other people and don't go that route, don't go that route. It's telling you that for a reason. Sometimes divine spirit of light is protecting us from certain situations, dealing with just dealing with people in general. So, we just got to learn to start paying attention to those little subtle things in the process. Because I know there's times like when I go for my morning walk, and sometimes, the sidewalks around here, I'm not saying that they're small, but certain areas that you walk, the sidewalks are, a little bigger than usual, where people can ride their bikes as well as people can walk on a sidewalk at the same time. And then some walks is just like a regular sidewalk where somebody has to get off of the sidewalk in order to walk on the sidewalk because of social distancing or whatever. But there's a lot of times I exit to the street, to be honest with you, because I get a feeling like, a person's, presence may have a darker energy with them. So I move to the side. I just politely move. For me, at one point in time, it was I was in my ego at one point. I was like, I ain't moving. But then divine spirit was like, no, you should want to move in order to protect yourself, So I say all that to say that, back then it was about, not purposefully trying to be in the ego, but, sometimes it was a matter of, they can get off the sidewalk too, and there are people, and honestly, I don't even feed that anymore, to be honest with you, because it's like, it's bigger than that. It's beyond that. It's more so about me protecting myself, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. And not only that, but protecting my aura field so that no one tries to penetrate through that. Because again, if somebody's carrying a lot of negative energy with them, if you could just spiritually see what happens, or if you just knew if you could just spiritually see what goes on behind the closed doors of the spiritual world, you know, and if you could see people's darker energy and how it tries to penetrate through other people's energy in order to, it's like the spiritual energy vampires, is what I kind of somewhat explained on my website or whatever. I talked about energy vampires. So with all that being said, you know, I have no problem at all with, you know, if I'm being divinely guided to stay where I'm at, because maybe somebody may need a little bit of healing. It's not me purposefully healing them or stopping and saying to me, put my hands on them. You know, it's just a matter of them being in my presence and they already getting the healing in a sense. But with all that being said, yeah. So keep that in mind. But yeah, as I said, I just basically had to tell her to trust her first gut and to stop. It's almost like stop wavering back and forth, because I know that there's a scripture in the Bible that talked about that, talking about don't be like the waves of the sea waving back and forth. I can't even remember what that full scripture said. Oh, being tossed back and forth like the waves of the sea. I can't even remember. But anyway, you can look that up for yourself. What the Bible talked about being tossed back and forth like the waves of the sea. It's almost like that. You go back and forth between just being in your head too much, overthinking. Oh my God, like, am I supposed to say this to someone? You know, again, it's not about what you say. It's how you, excuse me. It's about how you deliver it to a person. You know, it's not about you trying to come and be hurtful or harmful to someone. You know, you can peacefully disconnect your energy and cut cords with people out of love and light and allow them to be on their merry way and deal with whatever issues it is that they need to deal with in the process. But with all that being, excuse me, some of y'all throat chakra is really being cleared out. With all that being said, keep in mind, someone's going to come to you and they're going to try to use the excuse of, I feel like it's something like, yeah, God told me that we're supposed to work together. Or they're going to be coming to you, convincing you that you were meant to work together. And I'm just here to tell you that is BS. That is not true, and you're being deceived. So meanwhile, again, pay attention to your intuition, listen to your gut, and whatever gut feeling that you're getting in the process. Because I'm here to tell you that is not true. That is not correct. But anyway, for whatever their reasons of telling you this is, I don't know. Well, I did do a video off of some people are being benefited off of, meaning like some of you are, how can I say it? Some of you are powerful. And I think I've said this before. Some of you are powerful and you don't even know it. You are. You don't even know what's buried deep down inside. You know how they say like it's a diamond in the rough? That's how some of you are. And you don't even know it. But I say all that to say, like, some of these individuals know that if they can try to get you to be a part of what it is that they're doing, it's almost like, thank you, Spirit, and you heard the doo-doo, right? It's almost like they benefit off of you from doing so. So please do not get caught up with the bamboozle or the whole, this is my friend and, you know, we've known each other for so long and they wouldn't do this to me. A lot of people have been benefited off of. Go back and watch that video of some people have been benefiting off of some of you, because I know some people have been benefiting off of me. And I'm just like, Lord, help me to understand why. I'm still waiting on that answer for that one. Like, how is it that they're benefited off of me? Because I usually try to, well, I'm not saying it, this is bigger than me. But anyway, I'm waiting for God to reveal that to me. But I say all that to say, I know that that's happening to some of you guys. So keep that in mind. And I just want to say this because I feel like I'm divinely guided to say this. If you trust the fact that God has your back, God wants you to trust that he has your highest, your greatest good in heart. And he knows what's good for you. He knows who's good for you, whether it be for relationships, whether it be for business, whether it be for friendships, whether it be for your family, whether it be for just people in your job wise, whether it be for co-workers. The list goes on and on. Whether it be for anything that exists in this world, he knows what's for your highest and greatest good. So I say all that to say, if you just trust God, because as I said in the video, I trust the fact that, you know, when I said that, when I said in the, when it's not the video, when I said that, why would God tell you something and he always tells me everything? So I knew not to listen to this person. So I get that to say that Divine Spirit of Light is going to get some of you guys to start listening to your intuition. And once you start just a little bit listening to your gut feeling, it's like, people are not going to be able to come to you and try to deceive you any longer. You're not going to even second guess. You're not going to even find yourself going even in their presence to even entertain some of the stuff they just say. Why? Because you're going to listen to your intuition and you're already going to have that gut feeling. So you're not going to need to get into their presence a second time to understand, well, you know, I got to question myself a second time, you know, or let me go see what they're saying. You're not going to even entertain that. You're just going to be saying to yourself, like, you know, why would God tell you that if he ain't tell me that? So trust that feeling, trust that knowing, and it's coming. It's coming. You're going to strengthen it each and every time. Just know that there are going to be people in your life and that they're going to be there to test you in a sense, because that video I did on the 2 dead snakes outside the door, but then there was 2 snakes within the house that was still hitting. That's one of those snakes, I feel like, because those are just tests within this next chapter, just to test you, just to see whether you just staying consistent with what you know and not being deceived by what you're seeing. See, that's the problem. I also said this too. We're in those energies. I've heard somebody say this before. Actually, I heard 2 people say this before, and it's so true. The moment that I look around and see that the issues that some people are dealing with, you know, it's almost like we're in these energies of bird box. You know, it's like you can't use your physical eye going off of what you see, you know. So looks and everything that look like is glitter and gold, you know, that is surely to deceive you. You can't go off of looks. You have to go off your gut feeling, your intuition, what is right for you, what doesn't feel right for you. Listen to that and you won't be misled. So anyway, let me get into these 3 cards real quick. What message do you have for collective? What message do you have for collective? What message do you want to bring tonight? What is for the eyes? Highest and greatest good. What is it for the highest and greatest good? I hope y'all enjoying this rainy day. Take time for yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself. Not having somebody else to love you, but love yourself. And guys, oh God, that throat shot, that has never happened to me in a video before. Like, some of y'all throat is being uncleared. And then I see no. So whatever that relationship was, that is a no. Forgive yourself for all the choices that you may have made in the past. Forgiveness is key. Because remember, forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for yourself, to be honest with you. Because you're able to sleep at night. Just draw one more from this one. Peaceful resolutions. Peaceful resolutions. Sometimes you gotta just walk away in order to have peaceful resolutions. Oh, and at the bottom of the deck, it says meditation bring answers. So keep that in mind. Said that. Get quiet. Then I'm going to do these crystal healings. Divine Spirit, I only ask for one message, please. What message does the collective need to know? of what karma they're trying to heal from any past life and what issues they're trying to resolve in this life. I ask that you give them a message that's for their highest and their greatest good. That is a pure white light and pure unconditional love only. That will speak to their hearts, their minds, their bodies, their souls, as well as their spirits. What message do you have for the collective? One more shuffle, y'all. Oh my God. I did all that shuffle. Prior to me shuffling, y'all, this card was here too because I looked at the bottom of the deck. Rose Quartz. Rose Quartz means unconditional love. Unconditional love, y'all. And you saw how many times I shuffled this deck before I started shuffling. And Rose Quartz came out again. But you know what? I'm going to read Rose Quartz real quick. Just so you understand. And something just told me to look at the bottom of the deck. It says, Rose Quartz, unconditional love. Sorry. Rose Quartz is full of unconditional love and infinite peace. So if you guys are into crystals or if you're not into crystals, I highly recommend you to go get a rose quartz. Look for a rose quartz. I had a rose quartz necklace. Oh my God, I really love that rose quartz necklace. I was so pissed because some way, some shape or form, that rose quartz just mysteriously broke off my neck. Broke off my neck. Just like disappeared, and I went looking in my car for it. I was like, how did I not feel this slipping off my neck? Or how did I not feel this fall off my neck? So I felt like, you know, at that time that somebody didn't want me to step into unconditional love. And I don't mean like somebody as a physical person, because sometimes we got these forces out here, you know, that, you know, just, we have these forces out here, but I'm trying to, that try to keep you from stepping into your power. That's why it's so important to think positive. So I don't want to give them light, but I'm going to shed light on just the fact that rose quartz brings more of unconditional love into your energetic field. So if you can, try to find you a true, authentic rose quartz. I would say it's kind of like this, but it's pink. This is actually a clear quartz, but because it has this copper wire around it, it looks a little pink. So just remember that the rose quartz are pink color, but just try to get like a rose quartz and keep it in your energetic field. It'll help you tap more into that unconditional love. And somebody actually told me this years ago too, to get a rose quartz crystal. And I actually did. And I did. And I really love that crystal because it allowed me to change my mindset. But then at some point when I lost the other crystal, I got another one, but the other crystal was kind of polished. But I don't really care for that one too much. But I feel like my guys was trying to tell me like, you beyond a rose quartz crystal because you know you're already tapping into that energy. So yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes when you no longer, I'm not going to say serve because I still have my crystals, to be honest with you. It's like sometimes when you don't what is it, when you no longer lead it, it kind of disappears in a sense, is what I've been told, you know, on this journey. But that was some years ago. But anyway, so it says, rose quartz is full of unconditional love and infinite peace. It draws loving relationships to you. It heals past emotional traumas or provides support during crises. Self-understanding. You are a beautiful soul who has infinite peace deep within and enormous empathy. I told you guys that before. If you're watching my channel, some of you guys are empaths and you don't even know it. And I told you that before. So I say all that to say that you pick up on other people's stuff. In other words, other people's thoughts can become your thoughts. So a lot of times that's why it's so important that's why Divine Spirit Light is trying to get you guys to release those relationships, because you're going to realize that once those people leave out of your life, you're going to realize that you was only picking up on their energy of how they were being, and you was taking on that same energy. So I say all that to say, let's say hypothetically, let's say if someone, I'll use this as an example. If you told someone about somebody that was close to you in your life, and if they felt like this other person was kind of and this other person wasn't even around, and because this other person wasn't around, and you shared just information that was going on between you and them, well, they started feeling a certain type of way about the other person because they felt like, well, dang, this person's not even around and you still doing this and you still doing that for them. Well, guess what? Now they're feeling a certain type of way. They feeling a little bit of envy. They feeling a little bit of jealousy. They feeling a little bit of, well, how can I self-sabotage this in a sense? Like, I kind of wish that was me getting that treatment in a sense. But the moment that they started finding out the information that you had been sharing with them, is almost like you started picking on what they was feeling. Like if they felt a little envy, you was feeling a little envy towards the other person. If they felt a little bit of jealousy, you was feeling a little bit of jealousy towards the other person. So I say all that to say that's why it's so important to release people, that you're being divinely guided to release. And please do not feel bad about doing it. Again, just do it in love and light. I wish you well in a process. Block, delete, and move on. That's all I can say. Because you can't hold on to the past expecting the new to come in. It doesn't work that way. Where was I at? Relationships are where you learn your soul lessons. So some of you guys have been learning those soul lessons through those friendships. Healing heartbreaks or abuse or dissolving toxic emotions and pain that prevent you from giving and receiving love. The rose quartz help you to give unconditional love as well as receive unconditional love, because right now in your relationships it's just only one way, and it's usually just about the other person just getting, and you're not receiving anything in return. It's just about what they can get and how they can benefit off of you. And then it says you have power to love unconditionally and to support others. The divinations, forgive yourself, and that's what this forgiveness card was about. Unconditional love. I'm sorry, wrong side. Forgive yourself. Love and beauty approaches. Loneliness is at an end. Emotional blockage dissolve. Do not accept blame. So don't let somebody sit there and blame you or guilt trip you into their little deceitful ways. Recognize that unconditional loves and friendships draw exactly the right people to you. Once you love yourself, you can give and receive love from others. Support is available in a crisis. And healing insight is unconditional love is the greatest gift you can give to yourself and to others. But first, you have to give it to yourself before you can give it to another. I've always said, and there's a quote I think that says that how can you love somebody when you don't even love yourself? You got to love yourself first in order to be able to love somebody else. So anyway, and just know that the frequency of this rose quartz, it is medium to high depending on the clarity. So anyway, and the rose quartz is for your heart chakra. Okay, so I just want to let you know that rose quartz are good for your heart chakra. So if you're someone who has experienced situations where you've been dealing with relationships with friends and you've been going back and forth with friendship issues, co-workers and supervisors and just all that drama and circus act, hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it, it helps to resolve situations. That's all I'm saying. Even if that means resolving that you're being asked to walk away from those things, whether it be a job, relationship, friendship, certain family members, it don't matter. It's just a matter of being obedient, because again, and I know it's hard. I know it can be hard, should I say, because if it's something that you've always known, but in order to get different results, you have to do something different. Oops. And then we have the Aquamarine. This is actually mine for Aquarius. Oh, which is so funny, which is right next to the the heart chakra. That's funny. So Aquamarine, this is for hope. If you guys can get that if you can get that crystal too. And even if you just whether you get the crystal or whether you look up the crystal online, if you just take and channel that energy into as if that crystal was right there in front of you and read about the benefits of the aquamarine, you can also tap into that energy as well. It's almost like having the crystal there. I'm sure some of you guys have those abilities that you don't even know is laying dormant within you. But anyway, or you can physically go and buy an aquamarine as well as the rose quartz crystal. Rose quartz, definitely very important. Anyway, it says aquamarine has long been a healing gem associated with the, I hear ringing in my ears, associated with the sea and also with stimulating psychic abilities. It was believed to protect against seduction. So this seduction is pertaining to, like, whether it be if you guys are males and you have female friends, female friends that we call friends that are friends with benefits, but, sometimes whether their lines being crossed or not, only everybody's situation is different. And I say all that to say, again, having friends as friends with benefits and calling them your friends, that's two different things, because you done already crossed lines. So you have to understand that those are more so romantic relationships, in a sense of not just, you're not physically touching each other, but it's more so you being seductive with the eyes, in a sense. And the other person know their hidden agendas, and you is like the two of you are just feeding off each other's, but you're doing it silently in a quiet type of way. So understand that friendship means friendship. Friendship means their boundaries. There's no crossing boundaries. It's not you looking at a person from a seductive type way. They're not looking at you from that. There's just strictly, platonic and nothing else involved. And, that's it. So, yeah, keep that in mind, because I know so many people throw that word around very loosely. Oh, this is my friend. And, some of these individuals are married, should I say, but they saying these people are their friends. Well, then they're looking at people from a sexual perspective, and that's not friends. You done already crossed the line. Those are friends with benefits. You like the benefit of sitting there, being able to look, watch, and, see how they carry on. That's not a friend. So stop using that word friends, because friends are truly friends that are there for you in their time of need. They really care about you. It's not about them getting what they want, but they really care and truly care about what's for your highest and your greatest good. Understand that. So I will say this. I do not call everyone, I don't call people a friend at all. I say associates, because to me, it's just, hey, bye, I'm gone, and other than that, it is what it is. But anyway, what was I at? Okay, so self-understanding. You are deeply intuitive, but you need to access this realistically. Do not be seduced by vivid imaginations, wishful thinking, or spiritual claptraps. Use your imagination to create what is for your highest good and well-being. Follows. If you fall into depression, remember that hope shines into the darkest place. So remember that, y'all. Having this crystal is about having this aquamarine crystal is about not having the seduction, not being seduced by other people's, and not only that, other people, about the physical appearance, everything that glitters not gold, and as well as your vivid imagination. So keep those things in mind. Anyway, so the divinations: release self-defeating programming, listen to your inner guidance, but be objective. Accept what's on offer. Watch out for idle gossip. Tie up loose ends before moving on. Remain emotionally Remain emotionally detached. Meaning you can't worry about those other visuals' feelings. You say what you need to say it in peaceful and light, and they have to handle their own stuff. If they get upset because you choosing to walk away, that's not your issue, that's their issue. And trust me and believe me, I'm telling you, you're doing the right thing by doing that. Because that's what Divine Spirit Light is trying to get you to do. Is trying to get you to collapse those timelines and get you to stand up for yourself, and not doing it with feeling like you're losing something in the process, because you're not. I pulled a couple of other cards that had came out in a couple of the readings, not readings, what am I talking about? That came out in a couple of other prophetic messages that says that you're not alone, and you're not alone. It's like your spiritual team that is meant for you going forward is on standby. It's like they're on standby, and it's like Divine Spirit of Light has them doing whatever it is that they're doing until you get yourself together. Once you get yourself together, you're going to see just how quickly everything gets drawn together. So yeah, you're not alone. It's just that they're doing, those people, they can't, those high vibrational people is what I'm hearing, can't come in until those other people are gone, period. It's like, it's almost like you can't mix the two frequencies together, because it's not going to work out, because you're not going to be able to tune into one frequency. It's going to be like doing this. Who do I listen to? Who do I listen to? It causes too much confusion. So that's the reason why Divine Spirit of Light is trying to get that energy out of there. So once the new come in, it's like everybody is on the same accord. Everybody's on the same frequency. Anyway, so listen to your inner guidance, but be objective. Accept what's on offer. Watch out for idle gossip. Tie up loose ends before moving on. Remaining emotionally detached in a process. Mean, again, you can't worry about anybody else's feelings or how they perceive the information that you give them. That is their job to deal with that, not yours. Avoiding procrastination. Success may come in a court case. Stay positive and remember your family is what it says. And healing insight. There is no reason to lose hope in your heart, since well-being is a state of mind. So again, guys, don't lose heart. Just keep that in mind. So this crystal is about basically seeing beyond illusions, because right now there's been a lot of people creating illusions around you that you can't see, that you don't know about. And yeah, so again, the Aquamarine and Rose Quartz. So remember those two cards, guys, the ones that I show you. You could always rewind this video back to see which ones it was. And with this last deck, just keep in mind, if you see any of these animals on TV or across your social media or across in person, hopefully some of these animals you won't see in person, but just keep in mind, if you see some of these animals, they have a higher spiritual meaning to them if they cross your path. You know, again, if you see them on your phone, excuse me, thank you. If you see them on your phone, if you're watching something, if they're within your physical presence, your physical eye, you know, or if you're reading something and you just so happen that you see these spirit animals, look them up. Look it up and see what the spiritual meaning of it is. It has a meaning to it when you run across these animals. Divine Spirit of Light, thank you for the prophetic message to give the collective. And I ask you what spiritual message or guidance that you want to give the collective in the process that is of pure white light and pure unconditional love of what they need to know. That is for their highest and their greatest good. We thank you for their higher self. We thank you for their spirit guides. We thank you for the angels that are guiding each and every one of them, that are leading them, guiding them, ordering their steps, and directing their path, speaking to their hearts, minds, bodies, souls, and spirits. We ask you for a message from the higher up, which is you, that is of divine wisdom, divine knowledge, all seeing, and all knowing. What message do you have for the collective? All right. And these cards are really big, y'all, so bear with me here. card is for their highest and greatest good? What message do you have for them that's for their highest and greatest good? Let me tell you how big these cards are. You see my hand? That's how big they are. So I really have to... What message of pure white light and pure unconditional love do you have that is for the collective? What spirit animal wants to come forward? I know for me, I've definitely been seeing that fox lately. I'm going to take this card. I've been seeing the fox, and I actually, it's so funny because I saw a deer when I was walking on the trail the other day. And it says, a dear love, be gentle with yourselves. You heal with the power of love. We just talked about that. The rose quartz crystal. See the light in all things. Acknowledge your self-worth and your grace. And Divine Spirit of Light has spoken. So the message here today is love. Love, love, love. Love is the highest vibration that there is. Yeah, let me show you again. Love is the highest vibration that there is. Keep that in mind. It's very high frequency. So when you're on that love frequency, it elevates you. So with all that being said, and keep in mind, yes, there's something about showing unconditional love and being able to dissolve, release, get rid of relationships that no longer serve you. So I know some of you probably like, well, how can you show unconditional love if you happen to get rid of people? You're showing unconditional love because you realize that these individuals aren't healthy. They're no longer serving you. There's been too much drama I hear it's going on with situations. Too many ups, too many downs, no consistency is what I'm hearing. Unconditional love is about wishing people well, wishing them love and light, whether you're in their life or not, and then releasing them. That's it. Because unconditional love is about you loving yourself as well too. To know that you deserve better. You deserve better in your life. You don't deserve to settle for less. So again, when you stand up, and it's almost like a chain reaction. When you stand up, because it's just like the same thing I had to do. When I had to stand up for myself and resolve relationships that wasn't serving me, it's like now you guys are having to deal with that. And once you guys conquer that, it's like the next group of people are going to be dealing with that same situation, trying to conquer. So imagine once one do it, another chain reaction happens, another chain reaction happens, and the chain reaction keeps going on and on. So now guess what? Either the people who have been vibrating more so over low frequency, who are doing stuff like to benefit themselves, when they don't have anybody to entertain them anymore, then guess what? You don't have anybody sitting there entertaining you. Either you're going to change or you're going to stay the same. But 9 times out of 10, people will end up changing. Some people may remain the same, and then some people will decide that they're going to change. You know, we all do have free will, and there's no judgment towards anybody else. What they decide that they're going to do, that's they're choosing, that's for their highest and greatest good, or that they think at that time is for their highest and greatest good. Because I guarantee you, if they evolve a little higher, they will realize, oh, I should have been done this. But anyway, so keep that in mind. Unconditional love is about loving you first, taking care of you first, and not just accepting what other people are offering you, because you deserve better. You deserve better, period. And then keep in mind again that you're going to be that inspiration to someone else to dissolve relationships themselves. And again, it's going to keep being a chain reaction for everyone. So anyway, you beautiful souls, I hope all is well. And until the next, Mercury retrograde is really getting me. Until next time, I wish you all much love, much light, stay strong, and know that like I said before, there's a powerful force within you that you don't even know that you have. Trust me and believe me when I tell you that. And you're going to wish you would have done it sooner. But Yeah, just keep in mind, you're not alone. If you may find yourself having to spend time with yourself for a little bit, and it's okay, because you're just gonna appreciate the enjoyment of life when doing something. You're gonna start saying to yourself, oh my God, this feels good without not having no drama in my life. You're like, oh my God, like anything at that moment, once you start tapping into that energy, and then when drama comes around, you're like, oh, I don't want to be a part of that. Oh, I don't want that within my energetic field. Oh no, I avoid that at all costs. Trust me when I tell you, because living a peaceful life is so peaceful. Oh my God, it's so peaceful. It really is. It is so peaceful. I'm here to tell you that. I'm not exaggerating that. I'm just here to tell you. My life is beautiful. It is peaceful. It is harmonious. And I want to keep it that way. With all that being said, I hope my message was helpful. Just keep in mind and watch out for those energies that are tricksters, that are looking to try to deceive you. They're trying to get you caught up in, just trying to get you caught up in something that does not benefit you and is not for your higher good. They're trying to make it about their higher good, or they're trying to make it about their self only. But just keep in mind, and not only that, but keep in mind too, because I saw that, as I said, when there was a female, there was also a male there too. So just be mindful, because I don't know if these are like games that they're, well, obviously it's a game. I kind of knew that, but it's about seeing who they can use in a process. So I don't know if they're using a female in a process, and it could go vice versa too. It could be a male that's, using a female to, get people to, drawing people in, but like, hey, I got this, deal. We supposed to work together. We supposed to do this. We supposed to start a business together. The last thing you want to do is sign a contract with somebody who's trying to get you to see what it is that they're wanting to do. And, you find yourself in a legal situation and you're trying to get out of that contract, so be mindful of that. But anyway, but from what I saw, it's not for your highest good. It is a lie, and do not believe it. With all that being said, much love, much light. And I say namaste, because the light in me sees the light in you. And stay blessed. Bye. Till next time.